Today is April 9. Happy Easter, everyone. Today the market is closed, but we saw some unusual options on the last day when it was opened on Visa. So we want everybody to know about that. And additionally, the DeMark's 9 indicator is coming up. The last day was an 8. So if it prints a 9 tomorrow on April 10, that will be very interesting to us. This indicator is under the, if you edit the studies, this is the Thinkorswim platform. It's called the sequence counter. It looks at the 9 and the 13s, okay? So you can turn that on and see that for yourself. But the main thing we want to look at is the unusual options and want to see, will it confirm anything? And so without further ado, let's take a quick look at it. So on April 6th, the last day the market was opened, you'll see here at about 348, there was these 220 strike puts being bought. Same at the 348, these 235 calls were here as well. So we believe this was selling the calls, buying the puts as well. At 331 and 331, these are actually the same trade, except they're not consecutively on this row. But if you look at the timestamp, they are the same. So you'll see here, these are all the same trades. And here's a 1001, 1001. This one is together here. You'll see it together here, the 220 puts and the 235 calls. Again here. So you'll start to see that there are many of these 220 puts and 235 calls, but they were all broken down into very small lots, quantity lots. So that was quite interesting that not a lot of algorithms can pick that up, but the one that we use is very sophisticated. So we were able to see that. And if we look at the options chain, you'll see here on the May 19, this is the strike prices here, the 235. Okay, so you'll see here the 7,000 volume here, and then the 220 puts here, 6,500 volume here, right? So yeah, a lot of the scanners out there don't have the special algorithm that we have to be able to pick this up because they're looking for larger quantities all at once. But when they break them down into little pieces here, then these scanners don't necessarily pick it up. So I thought it would be very important for us to share this with everyone, so you can see that there is actually a very unusual options here going on here with Visa. And so what does it all mean? Well, it could mean a couple of things, but one of the things that we think is that they're selling the 235 calls here, okay? And then we can analyze this together, and then they're buying the 220 puts. It is possible that they do have shares and they're selling the calls to create a covered call, and then they're buying the puts, which means they're worried, right? They're worried about Visa going down, so they want to hedge their shares. And so if it goes down, the price right now at 225.99, if it goes down, they will have profits because this is above the zero. This is the profit loss on the y-axis. So anything as it goes down, they'll start profiting. And so if it goes up, however, this is their break even around, they're minimizing their loss. In case it goes up around 235, you'll see here, this is the mark right here, where it starts to turn more negative, right? So that's around 235, 234.8, right? So that's kind of interesting because if we look at the charts here, 235 is very high up, even above this, all the way up. 235 is all the way up here, right? So for it to, if this were to start coming up near that level, they would probably close up this short here. because it's starting to approach and create losses for them. So they are going to they're actually also spent quite a bit of money on this. So if you were to sell one of these calls, the 235 calls, just one of these contracts is actually 3,900 buying power. If you're not sure how we calculate that, we actually have a video on how to determine buying power, a very simple way, and just watch that video and you'll figure out how we do it in a very quick method. So one of these is 3,900, and if we just kind of conservatively assume that they did a total of, let's say at the lower end, 6,500 of them since here, and then they bought 6,500 of these 220 puts. Let's say it was 6,500 contracts. Each of these contracts were 3,900 buying power. This was a 25.3 million buying power trade. So this is quite a large trade. And you don't realize that just looking at the options chain, because these quantities are broken down so small into like less than 250. It starts to go down 250 less. So it was very unusual for us to see it once it tallies up to such a high amount. Okay, and so that's kind of our thesis. And so if it prints a 9 here, the next tomorrow, we think seems like it's going to be headed down. And so that's kind of our analysis of this ticker V, which is Visa. And keep in mind, there is banks are reporting earnings next week, and so that's what's coming up, and so that's what we think is going to happen. And so if you found value in this video, please give us a like and comment and subscribe, and this all helps our channel grow so we can continue to make these videos to let everybody know when these unusual options are showing up. Okay, all right, take care and happy Easter, everyone.